Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, a warm welcome to you as well. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be just me talking. I'm going to be basically sharing two experiences I've had, and why I'm talking about this now is because of a recent incident that happened. I think it's down in Tamarack, Florida, where a woman, God bless her soul, her life was cut short by her partner, and that young man also ended the life of her father and also a neighbor of the father. So it touched me because I started looking back on two instances in my life where I felt threatened in a sense. So let's go back to the first story. So the first story is when I was in nursing school. I think it was like the last year, and I was noticing like one of my friends, like she would talk about her partner, but you don't think too much of it. Like you listen, but you don't really dive too much into it. I remembered when I got a phone call from her one day, and one night actually, and she called me and she was like basically talking about what he was doing, what he was saying, and he had firearms and stuff like that. And in my head, in my young 20s, I was like, why are you calling me? Oh my god, why are you calling me? Like, you have siblings, you have your parents, you can call them for help, they are closer to you, right? Because I was like maybe like 45 minutes or 40 minutes from where she lives, and she was on the phone with me, and I was so terrified for her, and she was so terrified on the phone. And I was, after we came off the phone, I was like, oh my god, I pray she's okay. We had school, I think it was the next day or the day after, but I was so concerned and stressed out, and I was texting her. I think I remember texting her like, this is not safe, this person is very unsafe, like the fact that they're doing that is not, I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was more of saying that this person is not safe to be around. And I just want to interject real quickly here and say that although I was thinking about the fact that, should I call a police, I was thinking, well, he's part of a force, and I do not want to turn that on my family. So I was like texting her just to make sure that she's okay, and I did call and text her in the morning, and everything was good. So I guess they just had a moment. That's what I was thinking at the time. And I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think you're supposed to consider that relationship. And I thought we were cool enough to where I could say that and she would not have told him, and she did tell him back, and he started messaging me on Facebook. And when I tell you I was so terrified, I decided that I am not hanging around with this person. And I remember where it was a group of us as friends, and I remember where they would like want to hang out, but he would have to be there. And every time he was going to be there, I would be like, I am not going. And it was nothing against her. It's just that the conversation and the way he was talking to me through text on Facebook, I didn't feel safe. Like, I really did not feel safe. So to me, the best thing I could do was not basically be around that environment or be in his presence. Now, fast forward to graduation day, and remember, I have been avoiding this person like a plague. I was not avoiding my friend really, but I was avoiding the guy like a plague. And people go through their relationship stuff, but I just chose not to be involved anymore or be a part of it. So if they are going to hang out, I was not going to be there. So anyways, fast forward to graduation day, and obviously I cannot avoid, she's graduating, he's going to be there. So he saw me, and he came up to me, and he gave me a hug, and he fisted me in my stomach. He gave me a healthy fist in my stomach, and he smiled. Like the way he hugged me and the way he did it, part of me was in shock, because I wanted to tell my parents, I wanted to tell Ryan, but at the same time, it was not safe. Because I think, when people have certain jobs and they're in a certain position and have certain access to firearms, I was like, I am not going to be putting my boyfriend at the time, me and Ryan, I was not going to put Ryan in that position, and neither was I going to tell my firecracker mother, because my mom is like mama bear. I was not going to put her in that position. But I remember that we were supposed to, as a group, hang out after graduation, and all of that changed. I told Ryan that, I'd rather to go home. So I ended up not going out that night, and it played in the back of my head. It played in the back of my head. And even a year or so after leaving, I decided I did not want to work in St. Anne's Bay. Although I think there was other factors that came into play, but one of that was that I was happy that I was not in St. Anne anymore, because I think I would still try to have certain friendships and maybe he was going to be present. So part of me was very happy that I was no longer in St. Anne anymore. And it's like I won't be around him or anything like that. And I remember when I was working as a nurse, like the first year, and everybody's working and we wanted to do a get together, and one of my girlfriends from the group of friends that I had reached out to me. I was like, hey, do you want to go to so and so? And I was like, yes. And then they told me no. I was like, yes, but who's gonna be there? Kind of thing. I was like, yeah, but who else are gonna there? And they were like, oh yeah, she are gonna there, but also this person partner is going to be there. And I was like, no. I was like, that's not happening. I don't want to be a part. I was just not, I was scared. Honestly, I was scared. He was the first person that ever made me that scared in my life, and I was scared. And I never warped my mind around why is she still with him. I did not. I actually just wanted to not be in the presence of him or be around him in any way, shape, or form. And because of that, eventually I lost all those friends, because I just was not wanting to be around that person, and that person always have her partner there, or he would be there, or stuff like that. And I genuinely love this friend. Like, I really was, we had a time, let's just say that we had a time in nursing school, and it was unfortunate that the partner ended up causing that kind of experience for me, and I ended up losing all of my friends that I had in nursing school. Well, not losing them, but the people that I was closest to when I was in nursing school, I no longer became friends with them thereafter. And life happens. It still breaks my heart sometimes when I think about it, but at the same time, it was not destined to be, and it did not happen. So I end up growing away and moving away from that, and eventually I ended up meeting other people and creating new friendships. And some of the girls that I was acquaintances in nursing school, I'm still like cool with other people, but in that group I noticed that I was no longer like close to anyone in that group, and that was okay, because honestly, you never know what can happen, because you don't want to persuade somebody. Like, for example, I told her, it's not safe, don't do that, blah blah blah, and she went back and told him, and then he redirected his anger to me, and I just did not feel safe, so I just took myself out of that situation. But yeah, I didn't know I was still affected by that story. Part of me was just a little bit ooh. But anyways, let's go on to the second story. So I had met another girl in college, and I migrated over, and coming to United States, you meet other people, you know people from Jamaica, so you always want to link up, or some people. For me personally, I love to link up. I love to meet up back with people that I knew from Jamaica, because it always brings me back to home. It's a feeling of like I can breathe around this person. Anyways, ended up linking up back with this girl. Come to find out, she was in a basically terrible situation, and her partner was just terrible. And I remember her venting to me about him, and him being like watching her, or like claiming that he is like watching her phone, watching her location, wherever she go, he's always parked there or show up there and stuff like that. And I remember like when I usually go and visit her, and she was like, Ima text me now, I said da da da, and I was like, because babes, my car, my safety, my family. Anyways, but she ended up in a situation where I guess, you know, she was not going to leave him. I don't know if the relationship, you know, them people that were like, you're in a toxic relationship, but it seemed normal. uh, I've never been in that position, but I know a few people and watch little series and documentaries and stuff, like people are in toxic relationship but it seemed normal to them and it's like they're okay with what is happening. I did not feel okay with what was happening, and I guess I vocalized that as well. And when I vocalized that, I guess she said it to the guy, and the guy basically, she gave the guy my number and the guy called me. And when I tell you that man rings me out like dirty cloth, that man says something to me, and then at the end of the conversation, I think I either made it hung up. Either I hung up my phone when I realized I did him when he might argue and I go off and blah blah blah. Not realize that it was him, but like the fact that he was going off, and in my head I was like, why am I still on the phone? And I hung up the phone. The man left a voicemail on my phone and threatened me. And I was so glad that I did not bring this person to my house, because imagine if she didn't know where me live. Like I was so paranoid. Like I was so paranoid. And that is when I was living in West Palm Beach, and this is before Ryan or Azalea came up, and I was just like, oh my god, what have I done? Like, why am I in this situation again? And over time I realized that I no longer want to have friends. I realized that I no longer wanted to have friends, because every time I had friends and I feel like, oh, I'm concerned or this or that, and I vocalize that, and I don't like me do it aggressively. I will be like, you know, this is not safe, you know, although he's doing all these things for you, you know, he still has to respect you as you respect him, and you know, him doing these things that's not a healthy relationship, or you know. So eventually that last lesson was the lesson. I didn't make it reach 3 strikes out. It was number 2 that was the strikeout for me. So like now, growing, the older I got, right back then, the older I got after that, in this incident, when I heard people talk about their partners, I don't care. One, I don't care to know about your partner. I don't want to know about your partner. Your partner can be amazing and can do everything for you, but me and your partner not gonna ever be friends. Me, your partner not supposed to have my number, unless, you know, me and you, like I have other friends that their partner have my number, but it's like in the case of emergency kind of thing. But no, we're not going to. I'm not going there. And as soon as I realized that you no longer, like, you don't have enough, what would I call it? Like, have some self-esteem, love yourself a little bit more. Like if I realize that I may meet someone and like couple weeks in realize that you kind of self-hate, and like you love negativity, or you always have issues, or you always have problems with your partner and blah blah blah, like we're not doing it. Unless like me and my girlfriends that are already married, and we have that, you know, that little camaraderie with each other, and we know our partners, we know this and we know that, we're partners not abusive, we're partners not this. We have regular normal arguments and disagreements, and we vent that out with each other, and that is fine. But I'm not going to listen to you talk about, oh, he must stalk you, or oh, him beat you, or oh, him put this to your head, and all of these things, and threaten to end your life. Like me, I'm not different for that. Me, don't do it. As you said that, me gone. As you said that, friendship done. As I said that, friendship dry up. And that make me now like be hesitant when people start talking about their partners, especially in the early part of the friendship. If I'm just meeting you and blah blah blah, and you start to talk about your babes, no. And I'm sorry if that is a deal breaker. Let it break. Let the deal break, because I have been burnt twice, and these are people that I developed relationships, like friendships with, and people that I actually like, and then I put all that good energy and all that good vibes, and then I get burnt in the end. So I don't want to do it again. So little by little, I have basically took myself out of the situation of trying to find friends and trying to diss friends and trying to dot friends. So the friends I have, I really try to pour into them and try to like give them my energy, give them my joy. Obviously, I have acquaintances. I do not like, I've learned that over time, not everyone is a friend, even if you know them for a year. Like a friend, it means different things for different people, but I've come to realize that I have a lot of acquaintances, and that is fine. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that is my 2 stories that kind of basically put me in a position where I am very much having a wall up when it comes on to friends and being mindful about the friends I keep. If I meet people, I don't know what the future may hold, and I may meet a friend. However, if that friend start affecting my life or in a negative way, or that friend put my family or my safety at risk, then I'm just going to have to cut them off. And I just want to end this by saying, love yourself a little more. Be strong enough to know when it's time to go, because sometimes it's not only you that the person may harm. They may harm the people that you love and the people that you're around. And this is just for any and anyone. So yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye.